Yo guys, Insane Gamer 52 here, and Treyarch just posted the cinematic for the new Black Ops 7 Zombies map called Ashes of the Damned. Let's check it out. So this is exactly how Reckoning ended. Yeah, in the lobby with them teleporting in.
Welcome to the party.
There we go. There's the returning crew. And a voice.
And y'all are the guests of honor.
I like his southern twang.
Or, technically,
It's the dude with the boots.
the main course.
Alright, so this is our big bad.
Who the fuck are you?
Ominous skulls.
I know. Y'all are confused.
It's a cool sword. It's got like a saber.
But as they say,
It's like Adler's glasses almost. Glowing eyes. Also, what was the symbol on his hat? That's why they all look demonic. Or undead. I think the skull said feet. So the skull took their, like, life essence and siphoned it to him.
See y'all real soon.
Just warps out.
Why don't y'all get to know some of the natives?
The natives. I really wonder who they got to voice Takeo. Dude, these cinematics always look so good.
Them or be killed.
Oh my god. Did he hit a single shot? He's got a baseball bat in his backpack. They look a lot more like burnt zombies. Like burned flesh, kind of. Than like freshly dead. Oh, Maya's going to town, dude. That combo was sick. Shoot that. Oh, it's like a grenadier vest.
Oh, you all are some bona fide cutthroat killers.
Bona fide.
This is gonna be fun.
All right. So in addition to that sick cinematic trailer, we did also get a blog post. Let's go through just the highlights of the blog post real quick. So starting off, we can see all 8 of our set crew and that cool antagonist. And they all look very zombified. They look really cool. I'm very excited to kind of learn more about them, you know? And that antagonist has me intrigued. I feel like he could be really interesting. And I believe he's probably the person who pulled Dr. Jansen into the Dark Aether at the end of Modern Warfare Zombies. Probably, if I had to guess. So the blog is just going through everything that happened in the cutscene, and this is interesting. So a southern drawl echoes across the lobby. All 8 turn as a mysterious figure slowly descends the lobby steps, his face hidden by a wide-brimmed hat. The man's polite turn of phrase is unnerving, but the caged totem skulls he carries in each hand that suggest a much more terrifying entity has entered the fray. So those skulls are indeed some sort of, like, totem for, like, rituals or something, which makes sense because they actually, like, have power and they're, like, floating and whatnot. Then it says, a skull detaches its jaw and violently expunges life force from the assembled crew, sucking essence into its maw while sharing its meal with its master, seemingly granting the mysterious figure more than a taste of their souls. Satiated, he slowly turns and leaves, but not before summoning some immediate reanimated threats for the team to deal with. So, the skull did indeed suck the life force out of the crew, and the fact that it gave the mysterious figure more than a taste of their souls makes me think that maybe he got like some of their memories, or he has some other sort of power that can like take advantage of that. So that's gonna be really interesting. He did look a little more like revitalized and less like dead after sucking the souls, so potentially he needs to like feed off of life essence or something. All right, so here we go. We get a little more information on the expanded crew. So we can play as any of them. It's still only 4 players per match. But, you know, if you play as any of these 8 characters, there's going to be more like story quotes, and you're going to get a little more information than just playing as your generic other operator. And they do look cool. They're all like kind of like white and like dead, and they got like veins showing and stuff. So I like that kind of just adds a little more like ambiance and just a little more like zombie theme to like zombies. I really hope they do something similar to this with, you know, like the zombies HUD, or like even like the plating animation if armor plating is coming back, just to kind of make it feel a little more zombie-y and a little less, you know, I hate saying it, but Warzone-y. How and why are the crew transported to the Dark Aether? Who are these never-before-seen incarnations of the original Zombies crew, and how did they get here? Who can be trusted? Let's dig in. All right, first up is Weaver. A Ranger-trained CIA operative, Gregory Weaver's combat acumen and espionage know-how have carried him through countless engagements. After his mother defected from the former Soviet Union, Weaver dedicated his life to exceptional military service in clandestine operations. Haunted by tactical errors and driven by a desire to fight for something he believes in, Weaver stands strong with those who fight beside him. Weaver has been transformed by the fall of Janus Towers. No longer a shadowy spy master, he has become a hardened leader forged by sacrifice. With Requiem shattered, he gathers the broken pieces in the fight against the Dark Aether, determined to ensure his friends survive. Classic Weaver. I don't think we're going to be getting too much like new information about like the Black Ops 6 crew, but I am very interested to learn more about the original crew and just kind of like how this iteration of them works. Because it is confirmed that this is not Primis, this is not Ultimis, this is a 3rd iteration of that original crew, so they're completely different and unrelated to the previous characters. All right, next we've got Gray. A highly educated and brilliant scientist, Dr. Elizabeth Gray is renowned for her groundbreaking discoveries in the study of Ethereum. However, turbulent events and sinister uses of her discoveries led her down a dark path. Transformed by years of imprisonment at the hand of former director of Requiem, she uses her genius and scientific mind to ensure her team maintains every tactical advantage. I actually didn't realize that she was studying Ethereum specifically. I'm not the biggest like story person, so maybe that was mentioned previously, but that's cool. Gray walks away from Janus Towers with her victories tempered by a growing unease, the gnawing doubt that science may not be able to truly mend the damage it has wrought. Once a steadfast believer in reason, she now is starting to suspect that survival may demand something beyond the equations and experiments that once brought her comfort. It's gonna be real hard to science her way out of this one, I'm gonna be honest. Next up is my guy Carver. Major Mackenzie Carver comes from a family line of military excellence and distinguished himself with exceptional skill and commitment to his country and brothers in arms. Despite being stripped of his rank, he maintains his mental and physical discipline throughout his incarceration, determined to restore his reputation. Carver leaves Janus Towers with his fury at the Dark Aether sharpened, reforged into a burning clarity of purpose. No longer content to follow orders, he embraces the role of protector, seeking to carve out a future where humanity can stand on its own, free of masters either mortal or cosmic in nature. That's actually pretty cool that they're digging into, you know, the mortal versus cosmic forces in this. That, like, could go a lot of places. Next up is my girl Maya. Trained in the family business of smuggling since she was a kid, Maya Aguinaldo brings stealth, covert tactics, and a sharp mind to every engagement. Street smart and deadly, her effectiveness in combat comes from long years of honing her skills in infiltration, evasion, and misdirection. Her knowledge of the criminal underworld and its unorthodox tactics often come in handy, but unfiltered opinions and acid tongue can make it hard for her to win friends. Her quick wit is definitely the reason that she was my favorite operator to run for a while, because those voice lines were kind of funny. But just like any other operator, they do get old after a while. Her pursuit of the syndicate that abducted her brother threw her into Requiem's path when she helped free their leaders on Terminus Island. Though out of her depth in the science and machinations of the Dark Aether, Her grit, grief, and hard-earned street instinct made her an essential ally in a fight far larger than her own. Uncertain of her role within her newfound family, the events at Janus Towers removed her luxury of choice, as once again she has to throw in with allies old and new if she is to have any chance of survival. She definitely has that survival instinct in her. And here we go, we are on to the new original crew. So first up, we got Tank Dempsey. This incarnation of Tank Dempsey is a battle-hardened U.S. Marine who recently fought through the jungles of 1968 Vietnam with grit, sarcasm, and a relentless will to survive. In this fractured reality, his distrust of his new companions and the unfamiliar surroundings have turned this otherwise dependable soldier into the unpredictable wild card of the group. So that's very interesting. He's from 1968 Vietnam. Oh my god, wait. This screenshot that they included has an actual mouse cursor on it. There's no way. Wait, they forgot to take that out, or forgot to just move their mouse for the screenshot? Next up, we have Takeo Masaki. Takeo Masaki is a disgraced Ronin who wandered 1591 feudal Japan without master or honor, carrying the weight of his exile as a yoke he cannot cast off. Bound by a code he only still barely believes in, he seeks redemption in the chaos of battle, his blade both a burden he must bear and a judgment on his enemies. 1591 feudal Japan, that is so cool. So he's a disgraced Ronin in this iteration. That's very interesting, I like that. Next up is Nikolai Belinsky. Soviet tank commander Nikolai Belinsky arrives in the Dark Aether from the brutal mountainous landscape of 1984 Afghanistan, where duty, disillusionment, and misfortune collided. Scarred by war and haunted both by betrayal and his own decisions, he masks his bitterness with dark humor, yet remains a steadfast warrior when the shells begin to fall. 1984 Afghanistan, that's very interesting. Definitely the dark humor of the group though, for sure. And finally, we have Dr. Edward Richtofen. Dr. Edward Richtofen, a brilliant but unhinged scientist and hero of the Reich, finds himself torn from 1945 in a world where the Axis powers triumphed over the Allied nations. Shaped by ambition and tainted by corruption, he masks his innate sadism and considerable ego behind wit and a charming smile. He vows that reality itself will ultimately bow to his designs. So he's from 1945, where the Axis powers beat the Allied nations in World War II. That is a very interesting backstory. Honestly, they all have really good backstories so far. Ripped from their respective timelines, our expanded crew finds themselves thrown together in an alien dimension, accompanied by old friends, uncertain allies, and something far, far worse. Okay, so it is confirmed we are getting the full zombies reveal next week. That doesn't mean that we still can't get teasers this week, but the full reveal will be next week. Head back here to the Call of Duty blog next week and prepare for a massive intel blast detailing extensive gameplay, systems, enemies, and feature content coming to Black Ops 7, direct from the Treyarch Zombies team. Alright, that is dope. And then it goes on to talk about the Black Ops 7 beta, which is going to be early access on October 2nd through the 5th, and open beta on the 5th through the 8th. And finally, Treyarch did confirm on Twitter more to come before we deep dive into absolutely everything we're bringing to zombies in Black Ops 7. So we will be getting the full gameplay reveal next week with, all the mechanics and systems and stuff like that. But before then, we still will be getting a little bit of tidbits of teasers here and there, which I will honestly expect pretty much every day this week. And here's the promotional art that they put out for the new map, which has a little bit of stuff to go into. So as you can see, there is a bear attacking them in the vehicle. I assume this is the Wonder vehicle, which was kind of described as more of like a Jeep-like vehicle. It's got the skulls on the front, and it is getting attacked by a bear, which is clawing at the door. So zombie bears are potentially a new enemy that we have to fight. Also, on the back of the truck is this demonic, ghoulish-looking creature that I'm going to assume is a denizen from Tranzit, because the new map is, going to be a Tranzit-like map, kind of inspired by Tranzit, but with a lot more added to it. It's kind of like Tranzit reimagined kind of thing. So I'm going to assume that denizens are returning, and this is an absolutely crazy-looking character model for them. That is just gruesome, and I kind of love it. For anyone who doesn't know, denizens, they kind of like hide in the fog of the map and they latch onto your face. You gotta like knife them off. It was an interesting mechanic back then, but I do hope that they kind of iterate on that this upcoming time. Also, if we look at the glasses of that antagonist figure, we can see there is a rocket right over here, right? A launch facility, kind of similar to Ascension, potentially. And apparently, Weaver did lose his eye in an Ascension-like facility back in Black Ops 1. So that would be very interesting if they're just kind of tying things together that way. And then in the other reflection of his glasses, we can see a pyramid, which I got nothing on. Shangri-La, maybe? I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. Or the pyramid from Moon? I mean, that'd be sick. It's definitely not the pyramid from Moon, though. But the fact that the middle of it's kind of like glowing, like that's going to be really cool. You can see some floating stuff around it. I love that they always hide stuff like this, like in all their like promotional content. Like there's always just little Easter eggs to find. There is also this writing on the vehicle. It's slightly hard to read, but I want to say it says like old Jesse or something like that. There could be another letter behind his arm or something, but I don't know. My best guess right now is old Jesse, which maybe that's the name of the vehicle. And that is everything we learned today on Black Ops 7 Zombies, and there's even more this week and the full reveal next week. I'm so excited. I can't wait. If you guys ever want help with anything zombies, I stream with viewers multiple times a week and have an active Discord community who's always helping each other out. If you found this video helpful, let me know by dropping a thumbs up. And feel free to subscribe for more in-depth guides and entertaining content in the future.